All right, my friends, this episode's coming out on June the 30th. And the reason this is important is because I'm calling June 30th, moving forward, Leap of Faith Day. You're going to have to listen to this episode to learn more as to why it's Leap of Faith Day. Because in our sit down with this amazing guest, you're going to hear some similarities between her and I and what June 30th means to us and what it can mean to you as well. Grab your pad of paper and pen and enjoy this special sit down. Hi, I'm Marshall Stern, and I've spent over 35 years leading and growing multiple small businesses. I know firsthand the struggles of entrepreneurship, feeling isolated, lonely, overwhelmed, and feeling like you have to do it all by yourself. I've been through multiple recessions, and I have felt the highs and the lows. I've been there, and I get it. This podcast is here to change that. Every week, I will bring you straight talking advice, real world strategies, and honest conversations about what it takes to succeed in business without the fluff, the gimmicks, or the sugarcoating. If you're ready to stop spinning your wheels and start making real progress, then you are in the right place. This is the Stern Truth. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Stern Truth Business Unfiltered. Okay, I want to introduce you today to Carmen. Carmen, how are you?
I gave a little wave.
Give a little wave.
I'm doing so well. It's a windy day here in the Edmonton area, so it's nice to be cozy inside chatting with you, Marshall.
I've been looking forward to this. So we've had this planned for a
Hmm.
few months now. I want you to tell everyone we're going to get into your entrepreneurial journey, what you're currently
Yeah,
doing,
yeah,
what you did before. But I'm going to give a shout out because we met through the amazing Kelly Kennedy.
we did.
Cat.
Connector.
He is the connector and Catalyst Club. So I'm giving a shout out to him and Catalyst Club and the Business Development Podcast and his other new podcast, which is also doing amazing things out there. I used to work there, I believe is what it's called. I used to work there.
Yep, I've been a
So,
guest already.
oh, okay, I got to listen to that. I have to listen to that episode. Has it come
Yeah,
out yet?
yeah.
Okay, I have to listen to that episode. I've been on his other podcast, the Business Development, but I have to come up with some story for I used to work there. But I haven't been an employee forever, so it's hard to
Oh, yeah.
kind of come up with, right?
Good
I
point.
don't remember. I have employee stories. Okay. Um, enough about that. But yeah, so thank you, Kelly, because he's curated this amazing group of
Hmm.
of entrepreneurs and thinkers, thought leaders.
Hmm.
And I wouldn't have known you. I'm not from Edmonton. So I wouldn't, because, okay, forget it, enough. Tell us what you currently do and where you came from. What were you doing before?
So, yeah, maybe I'll kind of go back in time a little bit. I come from a broadcast journalism background. I worked with CTV mainly in Edmonton for close to 20 years. Started out as a writer in the newsroom, just writing the copy for the news anchors and the reporters. Then I became a video journalist, so like camera on my shoulder, doing the interviews, pretty high pressure, high stress job, especially in your early 20s when you're still trying to like figure things out. But I learned so much in that role, quick thinking, quick writing, relationship building. Yeah, it was awesome. Every day was different, different stories. From
Hmm.
there, I became a health reporter. So I was actually in charge of a 4-minute health segment. And Marshall, that was my most favorite job in the
Hmm.
newsroom by far. I got to meet really, really inspirational people. I'd be like in the depths of a hospital talking to a cool surgeon and meeting researchers and inspirational families at the Stollery Children's Hospital. Yeah, I loved that job. And I was a health reporter for maybe 5 or 6 years. And then from there, I anchored the 5 p.m. news for CTV Edmonton, and I did that for about the last 7 years of my career. And I really felt that job and that role helped me really get to know my community. I became connected with some really awesome people of all kinds. And I have to say, that's absolutely helped me on my journey as an entrepreneur now. And the whole plan and idea came to me to actually quit my news anchor job happened during the pandemic. And I started to feel quite concerned about the lack of communication skills that I was noticing with youth. My daughters were in grades 3 and 6 at the time in the pandemic, and the online learning, the social isolation. And I remember saying to my husband, I'm like, I'm concerned about tomorrow's leaders with this
Mm,
lack of communication that's happening. And I said to him, I'm like, I feel like I can help with all of the skills that I've learned throughout my journalism career, all of the skills that I've taught myself as a host, as an MC, as an interviewer, as a networker, a connector, relationship builder. I feel like I can help. And so that's kind of where the idea sprouted.
mm,
And my husband is a business owner himself, and he was like, "Man, I sure wish," because he doesn't love public speaking. I've helped him along the way, but he said, "Man, I sure wish somebody helped me when I was young to feel more confident and
mm.
comfortable using my voice." And so that's where the idea really kind of sprouted. I could take up like 2 hours of your time, but long story short, my business idea started thinking that I'm going to work with youth, helping them become more confident communicators. I started running kind of some pilots in schools in the morning before going into the newsroom. And by the way, nobody in the newsroom knew I was doing this. It was a complete like secret side hustle, but I wanted to see first if it was going to work. And so, yeah, I saw the trajectory. As I was running these pilots in schools, I could see the growth with the kids right away. I saw light bulbs going off. They're like, "You mean you can help me feel more comfortable speaking in front of others?" And the ideas just kind of like poured out of me building this
Mm.
curriculum. I quit my job in spring of 2023, took the summer off, and we'll talk about that special date in a little bit, Marshall. And then
Right.
in the fall, is when I fully launched my business, and I have zero regrets. It is the most rewarding, energizing path that I could have ever, I couldn't have even imagined it, to be honest. Since September of 2023 to now, I've worked with over 5,000 youth and hundreds of professionals, helping them become more confident communicators. It has gone in directions that I didn't even think were possible. And yeah, I mean, I could go
Wow.
on and on and on, but that's my before journey, which I'm so grateful for. I took a big leap, a big risk that was scary, and here I am today, now just under 3 years in my business.
So yeah, so that's awesome, and we're gonna get to that special date in a
Yeah.
minute. It was easy, right? Easy
Oh yeah.
transition, easy taking a leap of faith.
No sweat. No, not at all. I hired a business coach because I had all of the ideas, and I'm really good with kids, I've come to realize. And I'm a good educator, and I knew what I wanted to teach the kids, but I didn't know the business side of stuff. And as I was working with my coach, I kept just saying to her, "I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can quit my job." And she was like, "Carmen, you are meant to do this. You're built for this." I even had like such a cheerleader in my corner.
Mm,
And I lost sleep. I lost hair. My hair was literally coming out because I was that stressed. And there was so much going through my mind. There was, what if this fails? What are people going to think? Because I quit a pretty successful job. I was a news anchor with a big network, right? And I'm like, I kind of worried about that people's opinions at that time.
mm.
And I was like, what are people going to think? Wow, I'm quitting this news anchor position that so many people would love to have this job. And I have it and I'm leaving it. I'm making the decision to leave it. Wow. And I'm going to go do something that I actually don't even know if it's for sure going to work out. I'm taking this big risk. And I mean, I'm so thankful. I took the leap and I took a risk. I believed in myself. That is a huge part of this. And honestly, Marshall, my gut was screaming at me to do it. It really was screaming at
Mm.
me to do this, but I didn't feel fully ready. And are you really ever fully ready? Right? No, because of that fear. But I'm so glad I instead like listened to my gut saying, "Carmen, you can do this. You're built for something more. You're ready for something more." And so, yeah, not easy, that's for sure.
So okay, so I'm hearing okay, there's doubt.
Big time.
You had people in your corner. Obviously, your husband being in business really does help, and a lot of people don't realize the importance of it's an inner circle, which I talk about the inner circle a lot,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's why I've curated my own weekly group of the entrepreneur inner circle, because a lot of people don't have that. They don't have their spouse or significant other, or even friends who are in business, and then
Yeah.
they don't get it. They don't get the
Yeah.
struggles, the journey. So you had that. You had your coach, which is awesome. Let's talk about the date because you and I had this conversation a few months back. And there were a lot of similarities because I transitioned out of my career, my business, what was my identity for 29 years of owning
Yeah.
this, being a sign graphics shop owner at the end of
Mhm.
June 2023. What about you?
End of June 2023 was the my last newscast when I kind of signed off and said goodbye to the audience and gave them a little sneak peek of what I was doing. And
Yeah.
then my first day of freedom was June 30th. Yeah, 30th. Because 30th is your date, right?
Yeah.
My last show was the 29th. My first day of freedom was June 30th. And your special day is June 30th too. Like, what the heck? It
Yeah.
just, this is also what brings us together. And I love how you talk about the inner circle, Marshall, because you're right. Having my husband in my corner and my kids was huge. A big reason also why I wanted to take this leap is because I wanted to be home at more often at different hours as my kids. Like I would get home from the show, from the newscast, and my daughters had supper and they were off to their sports. And I thought to myself, this isn't working for me anymore. Like I'm not even having dinner right now with these guys. And my daughters knew that I was going to be telling the news director in May that I was leaving, giving
Mhm.
about a month's notice. And my daughters would text me sometimes and say, "Did you do it yet, Mom? Did you do it yet, Mom?" They were so excited too. Like everyone was
Yeah.
just, and my husband and I had these calls and or chats at home, just kind of, and I was, of course, so worried as we've talked about. And I still have days of like nerves and, wondering that imposter feeling of like, who do I think I am doing this? But my husband and I had these chats, and I'm like, what if it doesn't work out? And he goes, so what?
Yeah.
you know you'll never know unless you go for it. And he's like, I don't believe it's going to fail, but if it doesn't work the way you thought, who cares, you'll find something else. Like, wow, so lucky, as you say, to have that.
And really in the end, you're not failing. You're failing if you're not trying,
Yeah.
right? So here today, my friends, I want you to write on the calendar. So Tuesday this year, it's Tuesday, June 30th. Carmen and I are declaring this Leap of Faith Day.
Oh my gosh.
Okay?
Yes.
Every year on June 30th.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's 364 other days of the year. You can also have a leap of faith. But if you've gotten to that point, because now we're not even 6 months in, now we're 7 months into the year. No, well, I guess it ended 6 months. It is six
Yep.
full months. So half the year is over. It is
Yep.
right. It is half the year. Okay.
Yep.
Uh, don't edit that. Keep it. You only have half a year left, and really less because the holidays.
Summer.
So if you have not, this is the thing, and we're going to talk about this, and we're going to be posting about this leading up to June 30th every year. If you, my friends, have not taken the leap of faith, and this doesn't necessarily mean quitting your job, starting a business. It doesn't have to be starting another business or selling your business or this. It
Mm-hmm.
could be a leap of faith of hiring your first employee.
Mm.
A leap of faith. If you haven't done that leap of faith, it's really going to make a difference in your life by June 30th. June 30th is that day to do it.
What a good day.
It's going to be a
What a
great day.
day.
It was a
Yeah.
great day for us 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Scary. I
So
told you,
scary.
I told you a story and it wasn't June 30th was when I locked the door for the last time, walked out of an empty building, right? Got rid of all, because I sold my company to another sign company who took all the
Yep.
stuff.
Yep.
We had to clear out June 30th. I remember walking away and feeling this weight, this euphoria, but it was a weight off my shoulders and this
Mm-hmm.
opportunity because I'd been coaching for at that point 10 years or 11 years, but now this was going to be my focus. And but it did hit me. How about you? It did hit me a couple days later. I told you the story on the way back from Whistler. I just was in silence because this was my identity for 20 at that point 26 years 29 years,
Yep.
and it hit me. But I had to go through that, and then greatest decision I ever made. It took me about 25 years longer than I thought to make that decision, but I did it.
Nonetheless. For me, I think I leading up to leaving and actually telling my news director I'm out of here, I was I spent months before mourning the loss of that job. I feel like, hold on a sec. Hopefully you can edit that out. I have a little tickle in my throat.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Oh, it's so dry here. Um, I feel like leading up to me leaving my job, I mourned the loss of it before June
Mhm.
30th for months. And there were tears even before I left. And then even before I told my news director I was leaving, I would be at home, stressed, crying, hair falling out, unsure, scared, all the things. The weirdest thing is when I went into my news director's office, I booked a meeting with her and I sat down and I laid it all out there. This is what I'm doing. This is why. This is my path forward. I appreciate the before, everything that's happened with for me in this newsroom, but it's time for me to go on this new path. And I actually thought we were going to have a bit of a battle. I thought there was going to be a heated discussion around it. And you know what she said was, Carmen, I've been waiting for months for you to tell me that this is what you're going to do. Because I kind of planted the seed throughout. I was
Mm.
getting hired for things, and she's a smart lady. She kind of started to add it up. And I left that office and I felt the hugest weight off my shoulders, like you described. I felt lighter. I felt energized. I felt
Mm.
excited. I felt I knew that it was the right decision and I was going down the right path. And after my last show, I said goodbye to everybody on the air. I said goodbye to everybody in the newsroom. I came home. My family was waiting for me and they thought I was going to come home crying and just, wow, I can't believe it. And I burst in the door just like, hi, like so excited. And they were like, this is not what we were expecting. Yeah, so it
Yeah.
was, yeah, I haven't looked back for 1 second, that's for sure.
Okay, so as we were talking about the June 30th, this podcast episode's coming out on June 30th.
Awesome.
It just
That's
so,
very appropriate.
well, serendipity, I guess. Is that the
Hmm.
right word for it? It is
It's serendipitous.
serendipitous. It is serendipitous because my podcast, these episodes come out on Tuesdays, and June 30th is Tuesday this year. So it's coming out today, my friends. If you're listening to it on the day it came out, it's June 30th. So my question to them, and then I have a question for you. Question to them is, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Are we taking a leap of faith and finally doing something that has been scaring us? If you haven't done it to this point, why not?
Hmm.
So my question to you, Carmen, what kind
Hmm.
of, because what we talk about here is like golden nuggets. We like to deliver these golden nuggets. What would you say to people out there that are, it's June 30th, it's 2026. They've been saying they're going to do something. They've been going to do this, but fear's been holding them back. They, that whole thing, I'm not ready, or I'm scared, or I will when.
Hmm.
I will when. You say,
That you'll keep saying that. I will, I will, I will. It's time to bet on yourself and believe in yourself. So many
yeah.
decisions that I have made have been risky. They've scared me. I've had people say, "Are you sure you want to do that?" That might be a big mistake with some of the things that I've done through within this 3-year time frame of my business. And I've said openly multiple times to people, I'm willing to take this risk. And if it ends up not working out the way I thought, I'm going to learn a lot from it.
Mhm.
And that is the truth. I've made some mistakes. I've learned from them. I've taken some risks. To be honest, most of the risks I've taken have been the best decisions that I've made. So if I didn't take that leap and leave June 29th, my first day of freedom, leap of faith day, June 30th, I have often thought to myself, where would I be right now if I didn't do that? And
Mhm.
honestly, Marshall, I think I'd be in the newsroom feeling pretty miserable.
Mhm.
I had done everything I wanted to do and needed to do in that newsroom. I'm so aligned with this path, but I wouldn't have known that if I didn't take the leap. I would not have known that.
Yeah,
So bet on yourself, believe in
I love it.
yourself, and listen to your gut.
Just taking some notes. These are these are amazing and awesome reminders, not just for our listeners, but for myself as well. It's a reminder I think we all have to hear
Hmm.
because there's going to be days in the future that you might need to hear that again, right? We all listen, we're all human.
Yeah.
And I also love one of the things about your story is I love just what your business is all about, right? Just it's empowering. I know it's not you don't work just with the youth, but it is empowering people to get their voice out there, to stand up with confidence,
Oh, it's the best.
right? To be able to, and we've talked about this before, and I work with another client who does very similar things with this being with the stage, with plays.
Hmm.
And it's about having these youths, young adults, people even in corporate who university, right? It's people who just it's more than like Toastmasters is great. this is different, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm curious about your actual program. Tell us a little bit more about the details of how that works and
Sure.
what's involved.
Sure. And thanks for asking. So, a big part of, so yes, I'll talk first, I guess, maybe about the youth programs.
Mhm.
So I work with students from grades 4 to 12, post-secondary as well. I would say the majority of our programs run in elementary and junior high schools and elementary and junior high. Oh my gosh, the grade 4, 5, 6 program is so fun. The kids soak up the information. Like I said earlier in our chat, I see light bulbs go off and it's like, oh, you mean you can help me make my voice a little bit louder? Oh, body language is something that you can teach me how to like feel more confident in my stance in front of an audience. But the elementary school program, for example, is I move into a school for 5 full days. My business is called Project Five. I created 5 simple steps to becoming a more confident communicator. And every day it's kind of a scaffolding approach. Every day we build on our skills. So we talk about the importance of preparing what we're going to say, what happens if you don't have a focus and a main message, and if you just wing it. We talk about eye contact. We talk about how to use our voice, body language, the mental side of things. And then on the last day, the students present. And day one, very often, Marshall, I see kids saying like, "Oh, I'm not going to do this. I can't do this. I'm too scared." Day five, they're up there giving a killer presentation and they're so proud of themselves. And I overhear them telling their friends, I didn't know I could be so brave. I didn't know I could do this. Wow, I never knew I could use my voice this way. About a week and a half ago, I was working with a whole bunch of grade 6 students. And one of the students told me that she's like, "You've really helped me feel more confident in using my voice. I
Mm.
can't believe you can so easily get up in front of thousands of people." And she's like, "You've given me the confidence to feel like I can do something like that too." But what really got me was she said, "Carmen, this is your superpower." She
Mm.
said that in grade 6. It really made my day. Like totally. But so I run a similar program with the junior high students and then workshops with the high school students. And it's a very effective way in helping youth of all ages feel more comfortable and confident in using their voice and realize that public speaking doesn't have to be so scary. Actually, you can think of it as an awesome opportunity to share something of value. It's an opportunity to use your voice and make a difference in this world. And I really, really like to put the positives because we can focus so much on the negatives. Yeah, we get scared when you're up there in sweaty palms and nerves and stuff. I tell them, I'm like, I still get nervous too, which is the truth. And they're like, "Oh, you do? Oh, thanks for saying that." Just totally like humanizing it and saying like mistakes are okay. And so it's just, I'm really, really proud of the impact that this has had. That has been the root of it
Yeah.
the whole time. The impact. And
Yeah.
and I hear from parents, I hear from teachers, I hear from the kids like weeks later just saying like, I have a high school student who has reached out to me saying like, your session, your workshop with me gave me the courage. I never ever thought I could speak on a stage. And now she wants to become an entrepreneur and use her
Mhm.
voice, but it really is helping kind of flick a switch for people. And it's the most rewarding job I could ever imagine.
I can imagine. Like I spoke to, like I've been involved with I'm on the board of a private school, like an elementary school,
Oh, right.
and right, we talked about that, and I just see these kids and what they go through, and the ones that you could just see who's sort of under the radar, and they don't want to step out of that,
Yep.
and because what you're doing is not just it's confidence, it's basically it's leadership.
Yeah. And we talk about that because it's not just about becoming a public speaker in front of thousands of people or becoming a news anchor. And we have these great discussions. Why are we doing this? Everyday interactions, meeting new people, joining new sports teams, talking to your
Yeah.
teachers, making new friends at a new school, all of that. So, exactly. It's about everyday communication skills.
Interviews,
Oh, yeah. Big
right?
time. Job interviews, or maybe you'll be interviewed on a podcast one day.
Interviewed on a podcast one day. Um, yeah, it's about impact. I love that. So,
Yeah.
okay, what would for entrepreneurs? Okay, public speaking, sure. Podcast, sure. a lot of people hide behind like social media.
Hmm.
Okay. But it's still, what would you say? I'm curious, and I'm just going to turn the page now to clean because I'm actually speaking in person at an event on Vancouver Island next week.
Mm.
And so my word for Carly, our friend Carly Grove of Cantency Consulting,
Yeah, yeah.
called it ice bath. I have an ice bath. Ice bath is my word for the year. I came into the year, my phrase for the year was to be uncomfortable. Sorry, not being uncomfortable, be comfortable being uncomfortable. And
Yes.
so I was going to get on out because I can do this all day long, but in front of people, like on stage, the
Hmm.
so-called stage, it's a little bit uncomfortable, right?
Hmm.
I'm really good behind the camera. So she said, and we talked, it's a word, it's the ice bath because you know those ice plunges at pools,
Yeah, they're not comfortable.
they're comfortable. So that day I spoke with her, I jumped into the ice bath at the pool that I go to. Oh my gosh, that people sitting there for like 15 minutes. It's like I don't know how they do it.
I think the longest I've done is I think I did 5 minutes.
That's
That feels long.
4.5 minutes longer than I've done, but I still did the action. I did jump in.
Yeah, good for you.
Um, so okay, I want some tips. It's for
Okay,
me. This is for me and for
sure.
our listeners.
This is
Okay,
our one-on-one
just the
with
one-on-one
everyone.
because I'm speaking from. Okay, I've got the stuff. It's a slide deck. I don't like slide decks, but I'm using it. It's a 30-minute talk. What's the biggest tip you can give someone who's doing a talk?
Well, there's a lot.
I know.
How long do you have? No. Well, first of all, I say this to everybody. Sit and think about who your audience is. What is the main message you want to ensure they leave with? Because sometimes when we're preparing a speech or a presentation, a million ideas that we want to get across, and your main message gets lost.
Now,
So,
before you continue, so I want everyone listening to not clicking off saying, "Oh, I'm not going to do public speaking." This can also relate to yes, job interviews and all that kind of stuff, but it also and being at a networking event
big
and
time.
and big time, and it can also relate to messaging like social media.
Hmm.
So,
Oh yeah, always. I when I have a post on LinkedIn, let's say for example, I'm like, okay, who's my audience with this post? How can I be as clear as possible and not so wordy that my main message gets lost, right? Clarity is key if you want to be a top communicator. Big time. Who is your audience? Who is your audience, Marshall, that day?
it's business owners. Like it's business owners, small business owners,
Yeah. And
local
do you know
business
what your
owners.
main, we don't have to go through it, but do you know for sure what you want your audience to leave with?
Yes, yeah, 100%.
Do you have a strong opening line to hook your audience in the first 10 seconds of you getting on that stage?
Yes,
Have you practiced it out loud?
no, I'm working on that. Okay, but I will practice it out loud. Okay.
Always, always practice it out loud. As soon as you nail the opening, I would say be sure to practice your entire presentation out loud with your slides.
Yeah.
Yeah, always. And you want it, this gets forgotten very often as well. Practice your closing too,
Yeah.
because we tend to kind of let presentations land a little bit flat. We all think, okay, I need a good bold statement off the top. You need something bold at the end, a takeaway, a call to action, something at the end, a question, something that will keep thought provoking at the end as well, and practice those out loud. As I'm driving, let's say, to a big event where I'm speaking or I'm the keynote speaker, I am practicing my opening as I'm heading there because the nerves are there. I still get nervous too.
Hmm.
But as soon as you nail that opening, you're like, I got this. Because the
Yeah.
nerves are the worst off the top. I'm sure you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
attest to that. They're always the worst off the top for me too. As soon as I feel like I got this, that I have the audience's attention, I've captured their attention, then it's like, whew. And
Yeah.
another thing that I do right before I head out there, if I'm an MC on a stage or I'm getting ready for a big presentation or a workshop or a speech, I take a minute or two to get into the right frame of mind. Very often the mental prep, the mental side of it is a huge part And sometimes right before we can tell ourselves like, oh man, I hope I remember all the right things. And ooh, what if they're, what if the audience isn't into it or blah, 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 blah. We can very often give ourselves that negative self-talk. And what it is doing is making you more nervous. You're not
Yeah.
setting yourself up for success in that way. So I always kind of give myself a little pep talk before.
Mhm.
And there is actually some Harvard research that backs this. This isn't just like Carmen from experience. There's science behind this too,
Yeah.
that when you kind of reframe it as like this is an awesome opportunity, the scientists at Harvard say tell yourself that you're excited. Be like this,
Yeah.
I'm excited for this, right?
Well, and it's like Tony Robbins, whether you like him or don't like him. He talks about priming, and every time before he goes on stage, he has this little trampoline, and he jumps up on the trampoline, and he's got his music playing, and he's changing his physiological state. He's preparing himself. He's priming
Yeah.
himself to. He's out there for like 12 hours at a time, 5 days in a row or whatever. But yeah, perfect. Yeah,
Yeah, so get yourself prepped mentally. It's you actually perform better when you go
yeah,
into it with that. There, like I say, there's science behind it. You do a better job when
yeah.
you mentally prepare yourself and pump yourself up. Be like, I'm excited. What an opportunity. Like,
Okay.
you
Yeah,
know, how
yeah,
awesome is it that I've been given this opportunity? And the other thing is sometimes we fear the audience and we're like, oh, what if they don't like what it is I have to say? Or what if my opinion is different from theirs or whatever. The truth of the matter is, first of all, you're the expert in the topic that you're presenting on.
hmm,
And also, in most rooms, the room is rooting for you.
right,
They are not thinking, oh, I hope Marshall fails.
right,
They're like,
right.
I'm so excited to hear what he has to say. This is going to be great. So we tend to overthink the audience as well. And that's just kind of part of that mental prep. And it goes a long way. I can't imagine not doing that.
I love that. And you know what? And the other thing I would suggest for people speaking, and this has happened to me, is when you're looking at well, they say the trick, when you look at the audience, because I've been the MC for like weddings and whatnot, they say,
Mm.
imagine everyone naked. Okay. So,
I
but
don't like that advice.
aside from that, because that can be kind of like, I want to hear why. But aside from that, when you look at people's faces, if you're looking at their eyes, like you can see this, it's not always a bad thing. Now, if everyone's like, whatever, again, on their phone, maybe they're like disinterested, maybe they're texting, whatever, maybe they're taking notes. You
Totally.
never really know. I remember I did a talk once and everyone just seemed like, and I thought I communicated properly. I thought it was fine. But I thought, okay, at the end, it was like, I started to feel like no one's interested. They're like all like just spaced out.
Mhm.
But then afterwards, people were coming up to me and saying, "Oh, thank you so much." Like I was just in shock with some of the things you were saying and some things that I was doing, and people
Yeah.
are right. And so just because people aren't like clapping and smiling and yeah, facial expressions can be totally misleading.
And that they can be. And also so you look at someone who maybe they're on their phone and you're like, "Ugh, are they taking notes? What's happening?"
Yeah,
First of all, don't overthink it when you're on stage. You have other things to be thinking about, like your presentation. But
yeah,
then turn to the next person and they're probably looking at you smiling. And then you get that boost of like, okay,
yeah,
here,
yeah,
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 they get it. They've got it. So, and no, the naked, I just don't think that that is helpful. Like,
yeah,
I don't understand how that's helpful.
yeah, yeah.
That's all. That's it.
Okay,
I'm like, that advice really sucks.
yeah. And you probably don't want to visualize all these people
Well,
naked
that's just it.
anyways. It's like,
That's weird.
it's just weird. Yeah, it is weird. Okay. Before we go, so what
Yeah.
would you say? One of the questions I'd love to ask, what would you say to younger Carmen? Before what how many years has it been? This has been 3 years, right? 3 years.
Less than three.
Coming up
I've
to 3 years.
3 years in September is when
September
I launched.
launched, right? You made the decision 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Probably well before that, but you pulled the plug, so to speak, 3 years ago. Okay. What would you, now that you've learned what you've learned, is there anything you would tell 3 years younger Carmen that may, and other our listeners that might guide you?
I'm honestly, Marshall, I'm glad that I was afraid.
Yeah.
I'm glad that also I was naive.
Okay. Tell us some more.
Well, I just think there was so much that I didn't know, and I might not have taken the risk, right?
Yeah.
Being naive, it's you say yes to things. because you don't know. And if you know the stress and but then it leads to something amazing, we might say no to more things if we knew it all. I'm so glad, and I'm still learning, and I'm still naive in so many areas of things that I'm launching and trying, but it opens the door to something else. And so I believed in myself. I did. And my gut was telling me to listen to it and go for it. You can do this. And I think I'm really proud of myself for listening to my gut, even though I was scared. And so I think I would just say keep listening to your gut because it has served me so well. And I will continue to take risks and make mistakes and be naive in areas, and it's part of the journey, and I'm so grateful for this journey. It is a blast. And for those of you who are like, should I take a leap? Honestly, if you feel like this is the right choice for you, listen to that because it is going to open doors to things that you didn't even know were possible. And it's so much fun, and I'm feeling creative, and I'm feeling energized and curious again, and it's been awesome.
That's awesome. And if you are going to take that leap of faith before or on June 30th, okay, to today, make sure that you have some people around you that can support you.
Yeah.
It might be financially support too, right? You might need that, but also just emotionally and in an advisory role, people to just sort of lift you up and help you on the path because
Hmm.
it's not an easy path.
Mm-mm.
It's an amazing one, amazing
Hmm.
journey, right?
But there's so much self-doubt at times, and it's just I've had many days and I've messaged girlfriends who are really close to me and who I feel like I can just vent to, and I'm like, I don't, what am I doing? Who do I think I am making this? I've recently brought on some new subcontractors, and I'm like, who do I think I am leading this team? And like, do I even know what I'm doing? And then other days I'm like, I got this. Like I'm a leader, and it's just
Yeah.
it's kind of a roller coaster at times of emotions.
Yeah. Well, there is the entrepreneurial roller coaster, and it is, but it's our emotions for sure. Some days it's like, this is awesome. That's why I always say, when I work with my clients, I want them to be really, and I know you are, connected to their why.
Yeah.
If you're not connected to the why, you're just going to give up because there's hard days. I mean, there's really hard days, especially, hey, I'm on the West Coast. You have winter. I was in Edmonton December 31st of this past year. There's snow. There's cold days, dark, cold days. Here it's dark, cold, rainy days,
Yeah, gray.
gray days.
Hmm.
And if you're not connected to that why you started it and why you're doing it, the mission you're on, which I know you're on a strong mission, which is awesome. So I'm going to include your stuff below because I want people to be able to reach out to you
Oh, thank you.
and check out all your amazing work that you're doing for our future leaders.
Yes, thank you. And I have a new online program that I'm excited about that I'm just getting
Oh,
started with. So,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. I'd love to hear all about that when it's all. So it's launched yet, or you're just working on it?
So it's launched, but I have
Okay.
so much work to do to let everyone know that it even exists. So it's my public speaking program for grade four,
Oh,
five, and six classrooms. So
okay.
I'm hosting the series. It's fun, it's interactive, it takes kids through the steps. It's the teacher, it's like plug and play for the teacher. I just I've because I go into the schools, but there's only, so many schools that I can work in, and I live
Yeah.
in Edmonton. I don't live in other provinces, obviously. So I'm like, I need to create something where people across the country can use this tool because it works and the kids like it and it's fun and they learn and they grow. And I have a couple of teachers in Vancouver running these programs, and they have
Awesome.
emailed me saying like, after this program, the kids had to do another presentation and we couldn't believe the difference in their skills.
So that's
So
awesome.
that's my new venture, one of my many.
That is awesome. Have you ever, on a side note, it's
Yeah,
on the podcast, that's fine. I'm just gonna ask this. Have you ever worked or reached out to Junior Achievement Alberta?
I love working with them.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, they're awesome. They are like seriously such wonderful supporters, and we've done some collabs, and yes,
Good. Good.
absolutely.
What about, and then there's also Futurepreneur.
No.
Yeah. They're another organization. They're
Okay,
not necessarily just young, but they're like, it's like, yeah, Futurepreneur. There's another
writing.
organization. Yeah.
Thank you.
But Junior Achievement Alberta for sure. Yeah, they do some, I'm
Yes,
following them. They do some amazing stuff.
they do.
all
Yeah, I love them.
throughout the world, I believe.
I know.
Yeah,
They're huge, and they've
yeah,
been around a long time.
a long time. I remember them from Winnipeg, Junior Achievement Manitoba. I actually
Aw,
one of my colleague or friends growing up is the president of JA Manitoba.
cool.
I
Yeah,
guess JA
no,
Manitoba. Yeah,
they do wonderful things for kids for sure.
yeah. Uh, any last parting golden nuggets
Ooh.
on this June 30th day?
Like I said, just trust your gut, bet on yourself, and do it. Absolutely do it. Take the leap on this June 30th day. Even if it's a small decision that you've been putting off, it doesn't have to be quit your job and start a business. Small decisions, small leaps lead to big things. Tiny tweaks lead to big changes. So
Love that.
just trust your gut and go for it.
Love that. Carmen, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm so glad we met.
Gang, you heard it here. Get your comments below. We're going to be sharing this podcast. It's June 30th, so my email's below as well. What's the leap of faith you are going to take on this June 30th day?
Mm-hmm.
And June 30th, every year, is Leap of Faith Day, declared by Carmen and Marshall today on June 30th. Have a great week. We'll see you again next week on another episode of the Stern Truth Business Unfiltered.
Thank you so much for tuning in to The Stern Truth. If you found today's episode helpful, we would love to hear from you. Please like, share, and leave us a review. Also, if you'd like to be a guest in an upcoming episode or join us in one of our Momentum Accountability Group sessions, simply email me to marshall@marshallstern.net. That's marshallstern.net. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep pushing forward and leading with confidence.